Welcome, everyone. Most of you were here last night, and there was a long interaction with Anne around her experience of frustration in trying so very hard, and it seeming fruitless. That no matter how hard she tried, she still experienced being stuck. The dilemma, which is something that I'm sure every one of you can relate to, is that the experience is that the ego is the doer. That the ego has control, and that it wants to change something, and thus there is the experience of effort around changing, or it wants something to be different, and then there is this experience of effort. And then if it does not happen, there is the experience of failure, and even more effort combined with self-judgment. But what is talked about over and over and over again, because it needs to be reinforced over and over and over again, is that the ego is not the doer. The ego does absolutely nothing. It does nothing. But taking in these words does nothing. The only possibility is to see for yourself. See, now all of those egos out there are interpreting this as if I am saying something. But the truth is that I am saying nothing. There is nothing that I am saying. I am doing nothing. Ego says that you are breathing. It says you are this body. It says you have a job, perhaps. It says you have something to get, this idea of enlightenment, something to free yourself from, some growth that needs to happen, something about this and something about that. It likes this and it likes that, and it sets out its mission to get it. But the question is, does it really? Does it really do anything? Or is it all a facade? Is there some doer that can be found if you watch who is doing something? Is there some controller that can be identified? There, of course, can be, if there is the following of the story of the ego. Of course there can be. It is the experience. Across the board, it is the experience. But it is to stop and see. to see if there is anyone or anything who has ever done anything. Huh. Did I just laugh, or did it just happen with the story that it came from me? Without that story that it came from me, without the following of that story, is there a me? Did I choose these words and these thoughts, or did they just come? Are you choosing the interpretation of these thoughts, or do they just arise? All arising with a story about a me who is the doer. All it takes is simple investigation, simple looking and seeing. Who is this me? What is this ego? What is this doer? If there is thought around it, this is no investigation. It is just a story generated by a supposed doer who is thinking the story. But do you choose to think it? Or is your deepest heart's intent to just be free? And then what happens? What happens in this seeing, in this clarity, in this stopping for one instant and looking to find the doer, to find the ego? When you look for the ego, what you find is nothing. And in that nothing, you find everything that this illusory doer, this ego, has been searching for. You find this love. This love. And the more you look, the truer you see. Then what begins to happen is that the ego itself falls in love with the truth. Still no doer, still really no ego. And yet shifting happens, who knows how, who knows why. But now this ego becomes this servant. So much so that it is willing to tear its own self apart because of the unspeakable love for this beauty. Gets lost endlessly along the way because it says it wants it. One minute it wants it, next minute it wants to serve it. When it is wanting to serve, then this beauty reveals itself. When it wants it, then it remains elusive. All along, no one doing anything. And in the moment again of seeing this more and more deeply, the love affair with this essence just continues to grow. Eventually, all the ego wants to do is give itself away. It is willing to go through anything, to do anything for this unspeakable love. But the irony is, it is not the doer. So it cannot do anything. And every time there is the forgetting and the effort, there is the experience of the loss. How can there be something for this ego to do if it does nothing? And in the seeing of this, the seeing is that there is no ego really. And in the seeing of this, then there is the seeing of all that there really is. And that is this love. This pristine, immaculate, timeless bliss of this love. Okay. So the floor is open.
Better sooner than later. I was sitting and feeling the self and knowing that that's all I want and knowing that's all I need. And then this other stuff comes in that I know it's my mind just beating me up. But it just seems so sudden, but all at once. Be taking care of our friend, and all at once I feel like I need space. I need some time alone. And so then I make myself wrong for needing that. It's like I should be able to be with myself, with whatever goes on around me. And I'm not there.
Where did all of this come from?
It's got to come from my mind.
And where does your mind come from?
From the same source. But I don't understand what that means right now.
You don't understand what that means right now?
Well,
it's not the experience.
I don't get the connection between that's okay.
Okay, let's look at this. So old familiar pattern comes up, right? Very old and very familiar. You need space. And then this judgment that you should be beyond and needing to run away and have space. Okay. So this you that needs space. Who created this thought, I need space? Did you choose it?
No.
No. Where is the you who needs space? Where is the one who created this thought? And then there was this reaction that I am failing because this thought and an emotion arises. I am failing. I have done something wrong. I have created this thought. I am failing. I am no good. Blah, 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 blah. Who is that one? Where is that one? Who is the creator of that? Who is the one responsible who is failing? Let's find the one who's failing.
Well, there isn't. Okay.
Can you feel that there isn't?
Yeah, I just felt it.
Yes. Yeah. This is vigilance. Vigilance is no matter how strong the karmic pull is, which can be enormous, to stay true to what you know is true. And you don't do it by telling yourself a story about saying I'm going to do this or I'm going to, because you're not the doer. It is always to investigate and see who is failing, who created this story, who is to blame, who needs enlightenment, who needs the self, who needs this and who needs that, who am I, where is the doer? That one does not exist. There is no one who is failing. There is no one who was born, and there is no one who is going to die.
Okay.
What it boils down to is the seeing that in truth there is no ego. In order for there to be the experience of the ego, there has to be the belief that there is a doer, a creator. You are the creator of the ego.
That one I missed, the last piece.
Yes, okay. Well, we'll do it again.
The creator of the ego.
Inherent in the ego's life, everything is built around a doer. That's you. You are the doer of the ego. Everything is built around that. If there is no doer, if no one is doing the ego, where is the ego? If there is no me creating the ego, no me involved in the ego, then where is the ego and where is the me?
Okay.
So right now the ego says, I get that. Who gets that?
It's gone.
Yes. Then the words come up, it's gone. Was there someone creating those words there? Did it just happen on its own? Always finding there's no one. Always finding the truth if one is willing to look. And then, where are the problems? What is there to do if there is no doer? Then the ego calls this enlightenment, something to get. But that too is all an illusion. How can there be something to get if in truth this is all that there is?
I know.
You are free. You are freedom itself. Not you, this body. This body is going to work through its karma. It's what it does. But that has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks for nothing.
No, I'm a blank.
Yes.
A blank spark. Yeah.
Feels a lot nicer being a blank, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm also still moved. You know, I feel the love.
The love, yeah.
Yeah. So now I'll go sit down.
Yes, okay.
I can find my place.
You know something? Conscious of is even the feeling of love. It is beautiful in the release. There is the feeling of the love. But is to see that the one who is feeling this love is a story.
Mm.
It gets closer and closer. But it is to stay vigilant to see where is one feeling love without a thought of it.
You had to add that. I went way out with that one. Oh.
Lita, I added nothing. You know, the mind throws up this thing which, oh, this love feels so good. Not to do that part of it. This part feels great.
I knew what she meant.
Yes. But no matter what the games are of this illusory doer, the more that is stripped away, the more profound the nectar. It comes to the place where words and concepts cannot wrap around it because there is nothing left to wrap around anything. One sees that in the falling away of anything that can wrap around, the richness and the beauty and the majesty shifts from something that is definable to something that is okay. Now you can sit down and think. You're welcome. Stephen, I have wanted to speak with you for quite a while. Hello.
Hello.
You know, this memory has gotten very flimsy over time, but there is very clear remembrance of our last interaction. You had come up and you had asked for a slap.
Yeah.
Yes, you had said that you had spent your whole life on the fence,
Yeah.
never really committing yourself, but just skirting on the edges.
That's correct.
Yes, I know. And when you said you were asking for this slap, the response was there is no need, because the asking is a sign of the readiness. And then you ran away.
I've seen the void and have contracted out of fear.
Yes, I understand. I understand.
And I feel like I'm about to disappear.
Yes.
I've ended my marriage. I'm selling my home. I have no job. And there's just less to do. I don't know how I'm to be of service. I don't know anything.
Yes. You know, you asked for a shaking, and now it's your time. Your external environment has been shaken, but your response to that is wanting to run and hide. Fear arises, and there is not wanting to feel the fear. There is wanting to run away from it. You know, this movement of source is so incredibly benevolent. It is so kind. But one has to open themselves to it. There is something that is being offered to you. And it is the answer to everything you have been searching for as long as you can remember. So all of these things in the world have fallen away. I understand that it is the most natural thing in the world for the mind to scream in fear. It is what it does. You know, you came here this last time and I felt a very deep connection, because something in there is very ripe. That is why the response to this question then was the way that it was. There was something recognized in there.
I see that.
Yes. It is the hand that can lead you, but it cannot lead you unless you reach your hand out.
How do I do that?
All you have to do is want it. That's all. You only have to want it more than wanting your suffering that is familiar. You know, no matter how painful something is, if it is familiar, it does not bring up fear. And the mind will take suffering over fear. And the mind governs this body. So the instincts of the body are to run from that which is unknown, even if it means running to suffering. So when I say you have to want it more than you want what the mind is screaming about, than what the instincts of the body are reacting to. This is your chance to get off the fence. The external environment would not be shaking itself as it is if there was not a readiness. Now, the choice is yours. I cannot make that choice for you. If you make that choice, I can help you. But if it is out of a matter of convenience, if it's when it works, when I'm feeling good, when I'm feeling okay, when it's not conflicting with this, then it is meaningless. Then it is a waste of both of our times.
I would like your help.
So I am here. I can meet you to the degree that you meet me. This is the way it works. Consciousness is a reflective mirror. You open to it, it opens to you. You meet it, it meets you. You give yourself to it. It gives itself to you. Until there is no longer a you and an it. So I offer to you the same thing that Ramana offered to me. And I can tell you that this is going to intensify the fear. I also can tell you one other piece. Nothing has been taken from you. You have lost nothing. I know it feels like you have lost a great deal. But what is real? True love cannot be taken. Anything that can be taken never really was there to begin with. What is being offered to you now is what cannot be taken. Good.
Thank you.
Yes, you are very welcome. I really hope that this is the beginning.
I do too.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, here, I'll get this. Caught by the thought police. You know, Heidi, something that I wanted to share with you. You know, you asked yesterday about prayer, you know, and then some grief came up for you. It is not some rule that you are not to pray. There's no rules at all. It is just that in the seeing of this truth, there is no need to ask for anything because you see the perfection. But if there is some sense of centering, some sense of joy, some sense of anything which feels good, there are no rules here. It is absolutely fine. Just no laws and no rules. It's just about love. There is a sense of warmth and love in this process. It is all just taking care of itself anyway. You cannot do it wrong. This is the gift. These instructions with these silly things. There we go.
It's apparent. In this process with my husband, it's I sometimes don't know what to do with some of it. He's experienced great suffering, and it's sometimes challenging for me to be with that. He's called me when I was away on several times saying he's not going to make it. Yeah. You know, we have great discussions.
I think sometimes where I get kind of stuck here is what I see in our discussion is the natural movement of the words that come through me. And I really feel his pain on a physical level, but there's just a dispassion also a part of this experience that I have with him. And I think what I'm experiencing now is just some judgment in the dispassion.
Okay, all right. So let's get a little clarification, okay, for this. So first, dispassion, okay.
Is dispassion and passion is?
No, I understand. I know exactly what it is, but it's tripping you up, and it's very, very important to get clarity on it. And this does not only pertain to you, but it pertains to everyone. When they get to a certain level in this journey, there is this word that comes up called dispassion. And what dispassion is passion for the source. That's all dispassion is. It is passion for that which is emanating everything. It is seeing the perfection in everything. It is feeling that with unspeakable passion, and thus everything that is in the past would bring on enormous suffering doesn't do the same thing,
Right.
because you see the illusion of it. So that's beautiful. And then your partner is not feeling your grief in his grief, and it wants company, and then you get stuck. And then this old pattern of conditioning around self-blame and not being good enough comes up. So the initial movement is the movement of freedom, and then the mind wraps around that freedom and says, no good, I'm no good.
Well, and he basically tells me that anyway.
Yes, okay.
Because he doesn't. He wants me to meet him in a particular way.
Okay, so who is he? Where does he come from? I'm going to say something, go back to something before we even get into this. He throws out that he doesn't think he's going to make it.
Ouch.
Okay, he doesn't think that he's going to make it. Brings up pain.
Right.
Okay, now, if you go inside of yourself and you do not follow the story, but you go into what's true, is there an issue whether he is going to make it or not? There is no issue, right? There is absolutely no issue. You know this through and through. I know you do, yes. So, what is being spit up as a story that you recognize is complete nonsense. Yet it causes pain. Why does it cause pain? Because you buy it,
Yeah.
because it's familiar, even though you know it's complete nonsense, right?
Right.
Okay. It's number one.
Can I say something?
Yes.
That's good. Actually,
3 words or less.
actually, I retract that. I don't want to say anything.
Okay. Good, because I do. Okay. So where does Alan come from?
The source. Like me.
Yes. The words that come from him and the emotions that come from him. Is there someone doing something there?
No.
Is there someone who has control there?
No, absolutely not.
Yes, okay.
What came through the mind was this one's desire to help that one.
Yes, but who is the one that this one's trying to help? You're trying to help a story.
Yeah.
You're trying to help a story which you have identified, you realize is full of nothing. That there is no fear about whether or not he's going to make it. There also is a knowing, there is an absolute knowing in you, because I can feel it, that you recognize that this is all, everything that is happening here is the opening into his freedom. It's the freedom from the suffering that has been his whole life.
Yes.
That it has happened in this individual play, and now the movement of consciousness is offering it here, and in that there is the meeting of all the fears, and it is the movement of freedom and liberation, and you absolutely know that.
Yeah.
Yes. So it goes around in this packaging as it does, that has every single possible way in which it can draw you back into this familiar pattern which feels horrendous. It has all of those elements that were so familiar when it was this personal journey, now in the flavoring of another, but it is your pattern projected onto this other who is nothing other than your pattern. So now I have a question for you. What is the problem?
It's just a gift. I get lost because of the intensity and the.
Yes,
I get lost.
Yes, we all get lost sometimes. It's okay.
I do see the beauty in it. Sometimes I forget it because I get frustrated. And that's okay too.
Yes. You know what is so beautiful is Alan is not only a vehicle for his own freedom that is moving through the movement of authentic movement through you, but all of his actions are the movement of freedom for you.
Yes, that's the gift that I was speaking of. I do see that. And then there's my beloved. It reminds me of the gift.
You know, something most every one of you have heard over and over again, but it always warrants repetition, is that the movement into freedom is in releasing what has been held. It's into releasing the traps. And the traps are the last things we want to face. They're the last things we want to meet, otherwise they would not be traps. Things that have already been let go of do not have a charge. So the deeper and deeper movement into this freedom is the facing of that which brings up the things that you are most susceptible to feel pain around. But when the willingness is to meet, what you see is that there is nothing there but love and freedom. You begin to see nothing can hurt you, that everything that seems like a problem is just love playing itself out. It is consciousness meeting consciousness because it comes back for itself.
Yeah, it's just blowing the doors completely off.
Yes, it is blowing the doors completely off.
There's just nowhere to go.
Yes.
See, I didn't even know that was sitting in me.
Yes.
$10 in advance. There's a number to call, but Terry and Gwen have been here many times at KB. We're big fans of theirs, and this is great to have a new CD out, especially since they gave it to us first. Friday, December 5th, Terry and Gwen at the Community Music Center. I might play some more off of that record, too. I kind of like it. But getting more immediate, tonight is the third Friday concert series. The Portland Folklore Society, every third Friday they get together and get a whole bunch of people. Tonight, it's going to be at the Multnomah Friends Meeting Hall. That's 43rd and Southeast Stark. Doors open at 7. At 7:30, Henry and Maggie, Old Time Country and Folk, and picking. That has a bunch of picking in it. 8 p.m., the Foghorn String Band, Appalachian dance music. And at 9:15, Dr. Korn's Bluegrass Remedy, one of our favorite bluegrass bands since 1971. So if you're in that kind of mood tonight, Portland Folklore Society Third Friday Concert Series at Multnomah Friends Meeting Hall, 43rd and Stark. Later this weekend, Ann Weiss in concert with Joe McMurrian and Ali Ippolito. And that's going to be Sunday, November 23rd, 2 days from now, Portland, Oregon. And the name of it is So You Got the Winter Blues Show. And it'll be at the Mississippi Pizza Pub. That's at 35th and North Mississippi at 7 p.m. this Sunday. If you're in that kind of a mood, you never can tell, huh? And of course, there's tons of other stuff coming up. The Children's Peace Fair, that's tomorrow from 1 to 4 at the Augustana Lutheran Church, and that's at 2700 on Northeast 14th. It's basically 15th and Knott. So if you got kids and you want to go mess around tomorrow, 1 to 4 p.m. at that church. Meanwhile, I have played a long set of tunes, and I will not announce them all. It's basically a bunch of Canadians mixed in with a little bit of Laura Nero, the Pogues, and then the Ruthie Foster. Maybe we need to be up, huh? It's 3 minutes before noon. You're on KBOO Portland.
Say